Hello and welcome to Washington Exec's video series. I'm Amanda Ziadeh with Washington Exec, and with me today is Yogesh Khanna. He's the Chief Technology and Strategy Officer for Sev1Tech. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Amanda. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So Yogesh, can you start by telling us what separates Sev1Tech from other mid-tier companies in the industry?
Well, Amanda, it kind of starts with our founder and owner, first and foremost, right? He kind of sets the tone. Our founder is Bob Lofeld, Jr. He sets the tone for our company's culture, quite frankly. And I think you ought to check us out on Glassdoor. He's an incredibly passionate leader, and how he leads the company, how he inspires all of us to actually do what we do for the federal government and for all of our clients is just an incredible experience for every one of us who works here at the company. So that's absolutely one of the fundamental differentiators in the company. But let me sort of discuss a few other things that kind of set us apart. I think we have perhaps some of the best talent in the industry that knows how to deliver enduring value to our customers. I've worked with really smart people over the last 30 plus years of my career. And I must tell you, we absolutely can go toe to toe with the best of them here at Sev1Tech. Whether it's network engineering, whether it's cloud, cyber, analytics, et cetera, some of the professionals that we have that are seasoned, they've got experience, they are absolutely the best in the industry. The investment that we make in our people in terms of professional development is absolutely critical. That sets us apart. We pay for all the training and certification, whether it's Amazon, Azure, Google, et cetera. We're getting into the security certs like CISSP, or even going after CCIE, which from a networking perspective is almost like getting a PhD. So we pay for all those expenses. And then, of course, we're investing in forums like WashingtonExec. We're engaging in industry groups like ACT-IAC, GTSC, Border Patrol Foundation, Women in Technology, AFCEA, and there are many others like that allow our leadership and our team members to network with their peers, to share, and to learn. So fundamentally, the appetite to invest in our people is just absolutely unbelievable here at Sev1Tech. I would say our preference for solving complex problems, mission critical problems. We're not a company that has, call centers. Not that I'm putting down call centers and all that, but we're not doing in the proverbial sort of tech stack stuff that's lower end of the value chain. We run after complex issues that our customers have, and many people sort of often ask, what does Sev1Tech really means? And I think that notion of running to complex problems is very much embodied in our name. Sev1, as you know, is severity one problems, and we run towards them on behalf of our customers. And technology is primarily the enabler that we use to solve many of those mission critical problems, thus the name Sev1Tech. So that's a huge differentiator. And then I think, we've got proven and time-tested capture and proposal management blueprint. I don't know if a lot of people know Bob Lofeld Jr., his dad, Bob Lofeld Sr., runs Lofeld Consulting. And if you're in GovCon and you work for any one of the large, mid-tier, or small companies, more than likely you've actually come across Lofeld Consulting, and you've used the blueprints that he has established and has been teaching really the industry on how to compete, how to win against some of the largest SIs in the industry. So having your father kind of be a pioneer in the industry, certainly, we have as a company the blueprint to go out and compete with the best of them. So that's a big differentiator. And then one of the smartest things I think Bob did when he launched the company was he didn't start out trying to leverage the small business status, right? I mean, that's a very common thing in our marketplace. There's the 8A program. There are women-owned businesses. There are veteran-owned and all that, and they're all set up for all the right reasons. Make perfect sense to encourage the small businesses to actually gain traction. Bob had this vision of sort of competing with the big guys because he wanted to grow past that threshold. So he built the company pretty much to compete in the unrestricted space from the ground up. We relied, very minimally on the small business status. So that culture of sort of, going toe to toe with the big guys is pretty much in the core of our mindset. And last but not least, I would say, I think we're backed by a phenomenal PE firm called VFW Capital. They provide us all the resources and guidance to execute the strategy. They're not the type of guys who are going to sit, do what I call Monday morning quarterbacking, trying to help you, sort of run the business. They stay out of the way. They provide us the necessary guidance and feedback, as you would expect a PE firm to do, but they essentially let us run the operation. So those are some fundamental things that make us really a different player, a different mid-tier leader in the marketplace.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for sharing that. I understand you also have a long history of working for large government contractors. What is the biggest difference working for a mid-tier organization?
Yeah, so let me kind of use a DoD metaphor. In the DoD, we often talk about this time between flash and bang, right? In the business world, I think that sort of translates to the time when you decide to do something and when you actually do the work, or the moment you sort of get a request from a customer and the time it takes to get back to that customer to address that need, or making a decision to hire specific talent and making that hiring decision and getting that person on board. So yeah, I think you get the point, right? So that time from flash to bang, I think that's really, really short here at Sev1Tech. We make decisions very quickly without any internal corporate bureaucracy, if you will. We respond to our customers' needs, whether it be a simple question or a complex problem, with urgency. That kind of equates to just about everything we do. So bottom line, I think our op tempo here at Sev1Tech is fast. We sprint, as I often say, rather than walk. So that's kind of the primary difference here working for a mid-tier like Sev1Tech.
Interesting. And of course, culture is very big in the GovCon community. How would you describe the culture at Sev1Tech?
The culture is essentially, again, I go back to Bob, and in terms of how he runs the company, extremely transparent. When I joined the company, I was not just surprised, I was actually borderline shocked in terms of how much Bob shares, not just with his leadership team, but the entire company. We have monthly town halls, and he is an open kimono. He'll discuss the financial details down to the level of margins that we have on a specific contract. And I think his motto is that the more that our employees know about how we are running the company, the better they are equipped to make the best decisions possible on behalf of the company. So transparency is at the core of our culture. We are absolutely collaborative. Again, that name of Sev1Tech, running to the problems, it's kind of that mindset that all our folks have. If there's an issue that is being faced by the company, we put the best talent, we run towards it, and it's a full court press to address that issue or that need of a customer. So phenomenal collaboration across the company. We are, as Bob often says, we're focused on leveraging what is between our ears. Right? It's not a hierarchy. It's not where you stand on an org design. It's really best ideas, no matter where they come from. So diversity in thought, diversity in people kind of differentiates us in the market. We live by that. If you sort of go to our website and check out our people button, you will see the leadership team is very diverse across gender, color, ethnicity, etc. As I often say, I think we resemble the makeup of our country and the customers that we serve. And I think that really helps when people look at us from outside in.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we're active in community service. It's about giving back. It's not just about working on contracts and making a profit. It's how do you become a good not just a good corporate citizen, but a good citizen at large. So, at a corporate level, we have sponsored activities like, our initiatives with Habitat for Humanity, for DC Central Kitchen. We've done REITs across America. Women in technology is a big deal for us as a company, and there are a bunch of others. We're super active. Fundamentally, I think, to go back to your question about the culture, it's a culture of work hard and play hard, right? There are lots of company barbecues that we do. Our events are full of live bands. It goes back to that transparency session that Bob shares a lot of details, and then we follow that up by just having some fun. And fun, I tell you, one of the things I've learned is we're a company of golf addicts. Golf is a sport for the company that everybody has embraced, and it's helped during the COVID time. we just sponsored actually a fantastic event called Diversity in Golf in IT, Dig It, where we raised almost $30,000 for women in technology. So I think it's, again, work hard, play hard. That's our culture.
Awesome. Lovely. Well, thank you for sharing a bit of the culture side. More about the products and solutions. How does Sev1Tech make doing business with the government easier and less costly, which, of course, is always very important?
Yeah, so easier and costly, less costly. Let's kind of break that down, right? Many of us, so let's talk about easier first, right? Many of our employees, many of our leaders have actually walked in our customers' shoes, and we are intimately appreciative of and understand the mission and challenges that our customers face. So having that domain expertise, domains being like DoD, DHS, HHS, etc., and being aligned on the purpose of why we do what we do is so important to be successful. So if you understand that, I think everything becomes that much easier. Talent. I talked about our people. I often say that the best of strategies that are out there, they aren't good enough without the right talent to execute. So since we tackle some of the most complex challenges that I talked about for our customers, we take pride in bringing the best talent across our market to the game. And when you have that right talent and the skills that you attack every problem with, I think the overall experience becomes super easy, in my opinion. And then I talked about that time from flash to bang earlier. Right? We exist for our customers to address their needs, their requirements, their challenges. So when they call, there's no bureaucratic process or layers of management to navigate to respond to our customers. Our agility to address our customers' needs, is always at the speed of mission, and that is second to none in the industry. Now, you said easier and costly. I didn't address the costly piece of it. How do you sort of drive your costs down? Now, we're a pretty flat organization. We got minimal overheads. Many of the large SIs around the Beltway, you might have maybe a dozen layers between a CEO and a recent grad that you hire out of college. And I think you can count the layers that we have in our company on a single hand. And I don't think you will need to use all the fingers on that single hand to count those layers. Facilities. Facilities costs are a huge portion of what actually drives your rates. And I think, we've been deliberate about keeping our facilities cost extremely low and manageable. Our facilities are very functional, but they're affordable. So that's a huge piece. I often joke we fly economy here across the country. We're not on private jets as we go out to meet our customers. And we are just maniacally focused on our customers to address their needs, to spending time on their problems and their requirements, and making sure that we're bringing the best that there is to bear. Bob has this mantra called mission over profits, and we live by that really every day at Sev1Tech. Now we have investors and shareholders, just like anybody else, who are looking for a solid ROI, and we don't take the eye off the ball on that one. But that ROI never comes at the expense of less than stellar service. So that we know what our purpose here is. And then from a technology and solutions perspective, which is really what I'm primarily responsible for here at Sev1Tech, we invest in curating what we deliver and avoid sort of what I call reinventing the wheel. We've been codifying, since I've been here, a lot of our solutions, whether it's an approach or a process or a set of products that we've assembled into a solution. We codify that such that we don't begin from ground zero every time another customer has a very similar need. We build a baseline solution that has already been delivered and proven, and then we use that as a foundation to tailor and fit similar needs for a new customer. And I think that really helps lower the cost of building new solutions and makes it really less costly for our customers to do business with.
Wonderful. And lastly, I'm curious, what is the company's growth strategy going forward?
Yeah, so we are absolutely a growth-focused company. It begins with the base of customers that we have, as I'm sure it's a pretty industry standard term, protect the base. And how do you do that? You execute flawlessly. So we have a phenomenal set of PMs who have their finger on the pulse of every single program we have. We have an incredibly talented COO who keeps all the trains running on time and on the rails. So our approach is, exceed, not just meet the requirements and the commitments on our existing contracts, and delight the heck out of your customers. It begins kind of there, right? You do that not only delivering on what's required within the four corners of the contract, but sort of push the envelope a little bit. Innovate, bring a little bit more than what the contract requires, bring new capabilities. There's a lot of innovation, both from our large partners as well as emerging technology partners. So just keep a very close eye on that, and always bring the best idea for an existing customer. I think that helps a lot. So it begins there, protect the base. And then, we're trying to double down on the core strengths of our company, and be constantly looking for adjacencies. So, take as an example what we're delivering today to new customers, because some of our prospective customers have, very similar needs, very similar mission needs. So it doesn't require creating something from scratch. It's, okay, I do something for a customer like CBP. Where else can I take it within DHS, as an example? We're delivering really complex network engineering and cybersecurity solutions today, as an example, to CBP. Well, let's take that to CISA. Let's take that to other components in DHS. We do, I think, excellent job delivering outcome-based cloud-managed services to HHS, as an example, and to many of our commercial customers. We want to scale that business. So expand our portfolio in managed services and deliver that to a broader set of customers. I think the appetite for managed services, it continues to rise in the market. And I think Sev1Tech is very well positioned to meet that demand. So we're focused on that. And then our largest customer footprint is the U.S. Army today. A lot of the work that we do for the Army today is C5ISR work. And we do a little bit of that for Air Force as well. I think we believe that the experience that we have in C5ISR conveys extremely well for addressing similar needs in other arms of the military, like the U.S. Navy and the Marines. So that's the adjacency play that we're trying to make. Then I'm sure you've been reading a lot about space. We call it the race for space. I touched on Army, Air Force, but we absolutely have, as part of our growth strategy, plans to expand into the space. Within the DoD domain, that is a super exciting area. It is a new service branch, as you know, of the U.S. Armed Forces, and has the attention of just about every SI out there. It is also, I think, a branch that is currently not predominantly served by either one or select few defense contractors. So we think it's uncharted territory to some extent. We believe our work at the U.S. Army and at U.S. Air Force, and really our broader set of capabilities around cyber, cloud, analytics, network engineering, IT modernization, I think they all position us extremely well to capture our fair share of business in the Space Force. I don't know if you heard, but recently we won a fabulous OTA with the U.S. Space Command, and we went toe-to-toe with some of the largest defense contractors in the market and a couple of carriers. And this is a $60 million OTA called Mesh1T, where we're delivering essentially data transport as a service to the Space Command. And I think it's something that's integral to the JADC2. I know there's a lot in the market that's been written about JADC2 or the coalition JADC2 as it's referred to now. And as you know, outside of the Space Force, all the other segments like Army and Navy, all of those guys are absolutely going to need similar networks to actually transport all the sensor data. So I think we're in a good position to deliver that for the Space Force, and I think we're going to sort of lead the parade, if you will, on that one. And then, when I joined the company about a year ago, we kind of discussed the broader strategy. And part of that was to elevate, to go upstack. We do a lot of stuff in networking and infrastructure, but we want to go from networks and infrastructure to development, to application modernization, to application development work, to deliver end-to-end business processes, if you will. And of course, doing all that in concert with security and operations in mind. As you know, the waterfall approach to development is history. Our customers expect us to move, as I said earlier, the speed of innovation, or better yet, at speed of mission. And that requires to use the DevSecOps practices that have become very common. That combines sort of the application development, security, and IT ops, and enable the practitioners, if you will, to across all those domains to collaborate and do so from the get-go, shorten the development cycle. So, I think DevSecOps is an exciting area. We have excellent capabilities in that domain. We've got not only some work that we do for federal agencies, but we also have several A&D contractors like Maxar, who are our customers, where we do a lot of that DevSecOps work. So our strategy is to scale that part of our capability in the immediate future. And as we develop and manage more and more apps, we think the data that's associated with those apps becomes very interesting. Our customers want us to actually help them manage that data, to analyze it, and get intel out of it. So data analytics is absolutely something that's on our radar. That's an area that we're going to grow in. Now, interestingly, we do a lot of that DevSecOps work today, but we need to scale that out. We could certainly spend some time, perhaps months, perhaps years, to scale that segment, or we could fast track that, quite frankly, and possibly make an acquisition. So we've had some really good discussions in the recent past. I guess let me just leave it at the fact that stay tuned on the acquisition front. We hope to make some news on that front in the near term.
Cool.
So that's kind of our growth strategy, and I'd be remiss by saying strategy is fundamentally not just about what you're going to do. It's also what you're not going to do, right? So we are very deliberate about the markets and the opportunities that we're pursuing. We recently brought a CGO, Zhenya Klavitsky, and she's bringing a lot of discipline that is absolutely necessary for us to make those very difficult choices, to often walk away from opportunities. Where we think the probability of win is not as high as it needs to be, because we either haven't got the right footprint there, or more importantly, we haven't got the customer intimacy that is so critical to actually getting a shot at winning that job. So I think a combination of all those things really defines our growth strategy in the near term.
Wonderful. Well, we certainly will stay tuned, and we look forward to hearing any news or excitement to come from Sev1Tech in the near future. It's been such a pleasure catching up with you, Yogesh, and learning more about the company and its culture. So thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Amanda. Thanks for the opportunity.
Of course.